Good evening, one and all, and tonight I'm going to be doing my Christmas edition of my movie reviews, and I'm going to be reviewing for you Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and this is the remake they did with Jim Carrey. So there it is. This movie came out quite a while ago. What year did it come out? I'm not sure. 2001, there it is. So that's when it came out. So, yeah, it's about 12 years old now, this movie. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite. My favorite Christmas movie of all time is Ernest Saves Christmas. So, but this I would say is definitely my second favorite Christmas movie. Here's what the insert looks like. And there's a whole production notes thing on the inside. It's a really cool case because it's all green on the inside. See that? And that's what the back looks like. There it is. And I have basically a written synopsis of the film here that I'm going to read to you. And this is my review on Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is an overdone, spoof-filled, manic, and startling film. But somehow it works, just barely. In spite of the obvious fantasy, the Art Deco sets, and the annoying rhyming dialogue of the Who's, the movie somehow avoids being campy. How? Jim Carrey, of course. Jim was willing to put aside his dignity and vanity in order to totally immerse himself in the Grinch character. He gives the Grinch more personality than he has ever had in the famous cartoon. Funny, sarcastic, and self-loathing, the Grinch has been immortalized in a whole new way. Jim Carrey brings his unique facial expressions and commanding presence to the role, melding them with the Grinch's persona so well that it seems that the Grinch is impersonating Jim Carrey rather than the other way around. This funny, heartwarming film stays as true to the original book as possible, while introducing a more involved script and comedy styling that is more in-your-face than child-oriented. But the kids still love it. I left the film feeling like I had just lived through a hurricane. It may be full of Christmas spirit, and have an uplifting conclusion in which the dumpy, grouchy Grinch finds his inner warmth. But ultimately this film proves that Jim Carrey can make his mark even buried under all that green hair, yellow contacts, and remarkable makeup. Carrey makes a complete fool out of himself in portraying the Grinch. That wouldn't look cool on any other actor who tried to do it, but on Carrey it does. For about an hour and 45 minutes, Jim Carrey is the Grinch. Any other actor would just be faking it. So that's what I wrote about The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. I wrote that review, a few years ago. It was the first review I ever did that was published. Looking back on it now, I pretty much agree with everything I said about it. Especially comparing this to the original, Dr. Seuss cartoon. Jim Carrey really nailed the Grinch. Like, I was just watching the cartoon today, and just all the body movements, especially like the way the Grinch moves, and and especially his smile. There's a part where the Grinch does that really manic kind of sadistic grin, and his hair kind of parts and goes like this at the top. Jim Carrey pretty much recreates that exact smile in the movie, and he just really nails it. He does a perfect job. It's a very heartwarming movie too. Especially the scene at the end when he realizes what the spirit of Christmas is all about, and his heart grows like 3 sizes. Just his reaction there, he's like laughing and crying at the same time, is just absolutely wonderful, and it gets me every time. I only watch this movie, usually once a year around Christmas time, so the same with all Christmas movies. I prefer to watch them around the Christmas season, just because they have more meaning to me that way, and this is definitely a traditional Christmas film for me. I've been watching it for the last 10 years. Like every year I watch it. So, yeah, so if you guys are looking for a really great Christmas movie to watch this year, this is fantastic. I didn't talk much about the costumes or makeup in this for the Who's and the way Whoville looks. The Who's do look human, but they also look different too. Like they do look like Who's, but they don't look really exaggerated, like to the point that it's scary. It's just enough so that they look very different. Like they have exaggerated noses and they have like a big butt and kind of, you know, their figure is not quite human and yet it's not quite alien either. And the costumes can only be described as like Lady Gaga, like just totally crazy. Lots of bright colors and patterns and very gaudy and exaggerated. And the look of Whoville is very cartoony. It's like almost like a living cartoon, the way Whoville looks. All the props in it are exaggerated, you know. Even the telephone in one scene, when it rings, the whole telephone shakes. It's just very cartoony, like the way it's designed. And Mount Crumpet in it, the mountain where, you know, the Grinch takes the sleigh up to the top to dump all the toys, looks really cool in this movie. You know, it's this big jagged peak that comes up to a point. You can actually see it in the cover of the movie there. That's Mount Crumpet. And it's very spectacular, like all the scenery in it. A lot of it is CGI, but it's really good CGI. Yeah, so it's a very good, very entertaining movie, and definitely a must-see if you're a fan of the original Grinch cartoon, which I'm a huge fan of it, of course. And if you're a fan of Jim Carrey, even better. I mean, like, Jim Carrey is my favorite comedian. I think he's hilarious in every movie he does. And this is no exception. You know, he brings all of his unique comedy experience to this. And like I said in my review, like, he is just so good at impersonating the Grinch that he just disappears in the role. And you don't even really... You can't even tell it's makeup at all. Like, it's just so believable, and the way he moves is so kind of oddly graceful in a way, like in spite of all the heavy prosthetics he's wearing. His entire body's covered, including his eyeballs. He moves with such, you know, agility and speed, and just, you know, as if the costume is just a part of him. It's not even like a cumbersome costume. It just becomes totally a part of him. So it's a fantastic movie. So, this is my Christmas edition of my reviews. I hope you enjoyed it. And it'll probably be another week before I do my next review. Christmas is coming up, so I'm going to be busy with that. So I'll see you guys after Christmas, alright? Have a happy Christmas, everyone, and a Merry New Year. Or maybe I should say have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So reverse that. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.